Tell you a story about me and you. Out on the water, surrounded by the blue. They scream that only I'll be saved. They toss off the line, but I just let it float away. Yeah, I let it float away. I let it float away. I let it float away. Float away, float away. Yeah, I let it float away. I let it float away. I let it float away. I'll tell you a story about you and me. Stuck on the water, the waves are getting deep. They scream that only I can breathe. They toss out the mask, but it's a little out of reach. Yeah, I let it float away. I let it float away. I let it float away. Float away, float away. Yeah, I let it float away. I let it float away. I let it float away. There isn't any more to say. If you're not with me, I'd rather not be saved. There's no decision to be made. If you're not with me, I'll just let it float away. I'll let it float away. I'll let it float away. Yeah, I'll let it float away. Float away, float away. Yeah, I'll let it float away. I'll let it float away. I'll let it float away. Yeah, I'll let it float away. I'll let it float away. I'll let it float away. Float away, float
Welcome to Oulton Park.
Welcome back.
Located in
Portland
Cheshire, England.
International Raceway. Located in Portland, Oregon, we go racing once again for the second time at the circuit since October 12th, 2024, where we witnessed the barnstormer that was the second round of the GT4 International Championship. This will be host to the second race in America for Race of Champions. Cody Lawrence took the sweep at his home circuit through GT4 back in that championship. But in Race of Champions 24, it's Luca Andretta who proved once again why he is so talented with another pole and win at Oulton Park, now going 3 races in a row taking first place on track. However, with penalties from the last couple rounds from the Swiss Superman, it has allowed the playoff drivers to still be close. One being Mike Van Dorn, who leads by just 2 points from Andretta's 36, and then a tie for third between Cody Lawrence and Andy Rees at 34. 3 more rounds left to go in a title fight that continues to be very close, as well as in the overall standings, with Luca at the 100-point mark and Andy Massey Racing drivers Andy and Mads sitting with 93 and 92 points respectively. Things, however, can still change with the upcoming formats allowing even more points to be gained through the Radical and GT4's double race format. Can Luca Andretta be a back-to-back Caribbean Motor Racing Sim champion with a continued dominant performance, or will we see the likes of other playoff drivers try to make history to be there first? It's all to play for in the Grand Prix of Portland. This is Round 5. DTM at Portland International Raceway.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. I'm your host Rahul Nasir, and we are ready to go racing for the 5th round of the championship. You may have a couple of questions right now. First of all, where am I? Honestly, I don't even know. And second question, well, what's on your head? Well, I'm glad you asked, because this, my friends, is the official championship hat for Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club's Race of Champions. We are actively getting it delivered to us. This is only a 1 of 1 that you can get. Take a look at it here. I don't know if the green screen is really going to affect it a lot, but it is a yellow logo instead of the green. You take a look at it right there. It's a beautiful cap right here. Of course, this is our 2023 cap. This is 1 of 2, of course. Won by our very own Luca Andretta, but just take a look at how awesome this thing is. It's absolutely fantastic. Hey, and we're not just done there yet. But first and foremost, I do want to make an apology for the last round of Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club's Race of Champions at Oulton Park. We had a lot of technical difficulties with the stream in terms of the Wi-Fi connectivity over on the studio side, so we have solved those issues out, qualifying especially, and yeah, it was a bit of a rocky one, that's for sure. But to make it up to you guys at home, we got a couple announcements to give you guys. So of course, this is your Race of Champions hat, competing all these drivers down here. Race of Champions. Well, that's not all. Of course, we can't forget the original main cap as well that we are looking to be giving out very, very soon in 2025. So take a look at this one. This one has a checkered kind of flag. This is a very amazing hat. This is something that you gotta get for yourself. It's so cool. The CMRSC logo, of course, the founding fathers and the OGs of Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club got themselves this hat with their own name on it. We're still playing around with what we want to do. But this is it. A beautiful cap here. Rocking that. And hey, we're not done there yet because, well, it's winter time. It's getting cold out there. So if you live in a cold climate, I know I do. We got the CMRSC toques, however you want to call them. A little warm beanie here to keep you warm for the winter time. Hey, we also got it in red as well. There you go. We got black and red. We have a white one coming up as well. We got a lot of things going. These things, oh my god, these are so warm. So, you know, we're going to be starting this up very soon, 2025. That's the place and time to be at here for CMRSC. Nonetheless, though, we have a race to get going here, and the drivers are already getting themselves ready to go on track. They're already practicing. Today, we are here live at Portland International Raceway. Now, this track, we have seen it last back in October, as the race preview early on the stream would have pointed out. This is, of course, the same race where we saw such an amazing battle, but it was the main man, Cody Lawrence, who is on top. Right now, we don't have any word of where Cody Lawrence is. Is he going to be appearing for this home race? Especially in the points. The points are looking very, very close. Just taking a look at them now. In the official overall standings, it's Luca Andretti who tops the timing sheets, but behind him, Cody Lawrence with 93 points, 92 points for Mads Krogsgaard, and 79 points for Mike Van Dorn. But it's over to the playoffs, the playoff points, where we had crowned champions throughout the year who have qualified for the chance of racing for rewards such as the Champions Cap. And those drivers, of course, are Luca Andretti, Alfie Bevan, Andy Rees, Mike Van Dorn, Marlon Young, Martin Webster, Khalil Rickford, and Cody Lawrence. Now, of course, we have not seen a lot of those drivers. We have still seen at least over half of them. And 3 of them are topping the timing sheets out here today. So, lots to talk about here. And they are very close in the championship standings. As it stands, it's this man, Mike Van Dorn, who leads off the championship standings at 38 points. However, 2 points behind him is the man who is P1 right now in the practice time sheets. It is Luca Andretti. In third place, tied for third, it's Cody Lawrence and Andy Rees with 34. So take that in. First, 38. Second, 36. Third, 34. They are barely separated, so it's all to play for. But right now, we're going to get into the action. It's free practice right now here at Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club for the Grand Prix of Portland. So let's take it over to the main screen as you take a look at these drivers doing their last bits of practice before we get into the spectacular here today. And drivers are ready to go racing. So there you go, on board with the fastest man in practice here, one of the fastest drivers in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. This is Luca Andretti. Luca Andretti, after the first round of the GT World Challenge, he has gone undefeated on track. It's an absolute barnstormer of what he has pulled off through this championship, and he is on top of things. Luca Andretti swept Ferrari Challenge. Then we headed over to Formula 4 in Road Atlanta in the United States. Luca swept it there. And then we head into the LMP2 World Endurance, where that was, once again, last round, Luca Andretti took the W at Oulton Park. Now we head to Portland, a track that Luca has not faced, in a car that Luca has not driven in such a long time. This is, of course, the DTM World Championship that Luca debuted in 2 years ago, I believe. Was it 2 years ago, or was it last year? I'm not too sure. Luca has been with us for quite a while, but Andretta has been so dominant throughout Race of Champions, looks to continue it as he puts in a faster lap time of a 106.302. But he's got some good competition out there, mainly the likes of Matt Krogsgaard. There you see him in the special liveried BMW done by Andy Rees. I think it's a Christmas livery, actually. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, there it is. Look at that thing. Awesome. Little snow all over the car. Beautiful car, I will say, as they go around here at Portland. He is sitting in second position. Van Dorn, we spoke about earlier, he's in P3. Andy Rees in the Race of Champions playoff as well. The third driver in here, he is sitting in fourth position. Danny Nasir, P5. And then sixth, it is Andrew Roop-Narine in his Nissan. Oh, as he slides the car just off the track. And then Anderson Baiano, who's in the Mercedes, sits into the pit. So practice is just about coming to an end here for this Grand Prix of Portland round 5. And a little tap on the wall for corner exit there from Mads as Roop-Narine tries to steal a bit of slipstream under his belt. Cannot do much about it, but practice has come to an end. And these drivers are fired up, ready to go for the final race here in America. Not the final race that could be held in North America, as the Race of Champions tracks come down to just 3. Mosport in Canada, Imola in Italy, and Bushy Park in Barbados. And these 3 tracks can hold the final 2 races of either Radicals or GT4. However, for the next round being the Radical Caribbean Cup, we will not see Bushy Park be hosted, of course, because with the Race of Champions rules, you cannot see the same track raced in Race of Champions if the wheel spin picked that. So we have 2 interesting tracks, Imola and Mosport. Those are very 2 interesting tracks on there, because Imola, a very long circuit for Radicals, but it is such an open track that you can get some fantastic racing. Don't forget about Mosport. That, I think, is the golden track that all the drivers want. And then GT4, both types of cars are not that quick on speed, but nonetheless, though, that is going to do it for practice. That's the future that we're talking about. But right now, we're focusing on the 5th round of the championship. So much to play for here. So much on the line. Round 5 is going to give us a really good bit of action. We're just 45 seconds away from the action. So music turns off here. The drivers are ready to go. And as we watch pit exit here in a beautiful sunny day here at Portland International Raceway, we are ready for the action to truly get underway. So let's not waste any more time and let's get to the action, because it is time for round 5 qualifying as we go for it now. And here we go. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the qualifying session of Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club's Race of Champions, live here at Portland International Raceway for the Grand Prix of Portland. The drivers all heading out on track now. And as they head over through the first and second chicane, we can take it to the skies as these drivers are now on their outlap. So, lots to play for around here as the drivers get their tires warmed up and ready to go for this session here. Portland International Raceway is a very unique track, I will say. Very flat, no undulation at all around here. So, the drivers are going to have to do a very good job at navigating around here. But one thing's for sure, it's a blast nonetheless. So Luca Andretti is going to come around the final corner, exiting around here and onto the front straight where he can begin his flyer here. And there he goes, passing our screens there, Luca Andretti. Now heading into turn 1. Let's take it away here as we head into 1, turning it into 3rd gear, down into 2nd gear, sharp hit into the left and already off the track. Right back on it though, as he's going to continue this flyer here. Into the right-hander, the track's just going to open up, tighten up just all the time. It's all about just keeping consistent. 3rd gear, you watch his steering, now flicking it into the left-hander, keeping it in 3rd gear. And then accelerating out, and then it's going to be hard onto the brakes, braking in a straight line. Very crucial, down into 2nd gear. Hit the apex using all the curb, then onto the back straight, where Luca Andretti is now going to open up the BMW to now push this car as hard as he can on the back straight as he heads into the chicane. Now notice, he already lost the purple first sector, so somebody's got it, but flicking it into the left, into the right, and then it's a really, really slow final corner, just navigating and then putting the power down as soon as possible. Luca Andretti looks pretty good out there, and he's gonna come across the line. So the first lap the drivers are gonna be chasing down is a 106.597. Let's take a look at the other drivers here. Here comes Mads here, Krogsgaard now gonna come across the line, a 106.5 to beat, crosses the line now, and a 60 1,000th of a second, but Van Dorn is already gonna take the faster time of a 106.533. So Van Dorn now takes provisional pole. Andy Rees puts down a 108.801. Danny Nasir now already come across the line. There's a 110.7. Baiano now gonna come across the line. He previously had a 141, but that was his outlap, of course. Here comes Baiano, comes across the line, puts up P5 lap time. So here is Van Dorn sitting in pits there, but Luca Andretti is quicker this lap now. Already a 10th up in the first sector, flicking it into the left, into the right. 1 corner to go for Luca Andretti in the BMW M4 DTM 2024. He's on the front straight now, racing to the line. We're gonna find out what kind of lap time this is right about now, and Luca's gonna take back provisional pole. That could be pole position, a 106.266. So a good lap there from Luca Andretti. Now you gotta wonder now what is gonna be next on the timing sheets for these drivers here. Oh, slide there from Mads as he heads into the right-hander. A little too much, a lot too much there. He's been very slow through that first complex of corners. There's his teammate, much better navigating through there as Danny Nasir now puts in a faster lap time than Anderson Baiano of a 109.294. So there is Danny Nasir, Luca Andretti not finding pace this lap round, and Van Dorn locks up the inside tires, but this is of course an out lap, so now he's going to head on to the front straight to begin his flyer. We'll return to him soon. Meanwhile, Luca Andretti pushing very hard, found purple in the 2nd sector, and now exits onto the front straight. With 5 minutes and 30 seconds left to go on the clock, Luca will come across the line, and he is not going to improve, but look how close it is. He did a 106.279. So he's looking pretty quick out there. Krogsgaard, of course, we saw him early on in the lap. It was nothing home to write about, but we're gonna watch now Van Dorn as he navigates around here. 28.5 to beat in the first sector. He's a 10th down, but still finding personal improvement in his lap time. So Van Dorn pushing hard now. And he's found purple in that 2nd sector. Really quick out here. Going over the curbs, of course, allowed here. Oh, and he's off the track, actually! So that's gonna slow his time down. Nonetheless, though, Van Dorn, the Dutchman, is gonna come across the line. Comes across it now. Is it improvement? No, it is not. That 3rd sector all over the place. Here comes Krogsgaard. Meanwhile, actually, is Andretti improving? No, he is not. Wow. So hard qualifying session for these drivers, really pushing on to the limit, but the top 4 all in the 106. That's the place to be. But right now, Luca's in paradise with his quickest lap time. Krogsgaard comes across the line, and it's a 107 for him. Here comes Andy Rees, pulls over to the side of the track. Maybe not be the right lap, or maybe he's just warming up his tires on the front straight. Let's take a look back at Luca Andretti now, and let's take a peek inside how much steering input he's putting into the car, how soft he is around the track. And Luca now tiptoeing in the car as he now heads into the right-hander that exits onto the back straight. Or now you just want to open the car up, and he races down the straight. So 106.266 is the time to beat. 45.9 in the first sector, and look at that, 0.001, barely improving. So that just tells you, folks, that he is matching his lap time. So these final corners are crucial, but Luke is going to drift wide. The understeer on the BMW is not going to help him around the final corner and may have lost him a bit of time. Comes across the line, and yeah, it's not going to be something to write home about. 2/10 off in that lap. Here comes Van Dorn. Across the curb now, flicking it into the left-hander. And a 28.5, still that time to beat. And, okay, so he's on his out lap, so we don't got to worry about him right now. But this man here, Krogsgaard, he's pushing. So, Mads, looking to try to get a good lap. We look at the helicopter here into the left-hander. Great shot here, I will say. 2/10 off, though, however, is not the lap he is on and preferring to be on. Now onto the back straight. There he goes. And did you see a lap time deleted there for Baiano? No, he's actually just disconnected out the session there. As we continue racing on. Oh, Rupner Ryan with trouble. That's in the first sector. That's at the end of the first sector. So he's, oh, put the power down the grass. It's not what you want there. Faces the wrong way. Drivers are going to get some yellow flags for him. Just off the track. And I think the only driver that's going to get that might be Danny Nasir. Yes, he will. So there you see the Nissan just parked up on the side of the track. We'll have to take that thing into the pits. Actually, no, he's going to stay out. I don't blame him. Time is ticking. But he may have enough time to just stay out on track. Meanwhile, as we continue this one here, Krogsgaard is currently sitting on the front row with Luca Andretti. Of course, the only driver in the top 4 who is not a Race of Champions playoff driver, but can still hassle the current championship leader, because that's what he's going for at the end of the day. He is trying to push on to try to win Race of Champions, as in the entire championship. So he's got a lot to play for himself. There you see Van Dorn now onto the back straight. Now, it's no improvement in that second sector, but Andretti, though, has found improvement in the second sector. Now around the final corner. Looks a lot better on corner exit. That's one thing I will say. Luca Andretti in the BMW, looking to take down as a 106.226 across the line, and no, but look how close he's getting. 106.338 this time. Van Dorn come across the line, but nothing up there. Nonetheless, we're in the final 30 seconds. Krogsgaard and Andretti have called it quits in qualifying. They're happy with their times. Can't improve, can't put in another lap. So eyes are going to be on this man here, Mike Van Dorn, on board now. This is going to have to be a really good lap for the Dutchman if he wants to take pole position out here. It's a little bit of a slide on corner exit, and it's a 10th off there, but that's a 10th off of Andretti's time. He's still battling against Krogsgaard that can put him on provisional pole. Meanwhile, Danny Nasir goes into the pits. Rupner Ryan, local yellows, but takes it into the pits as well. Eyes are on this driver here, and Van Dorn puts purple in the second sector, but he's just about off Andretti. So eyes are going to be on Krogsgaard. Can Krogsgaard hold on? A little bit off the track for him. Almost to the tire barrier, just about saves it. And now here comes Van Dorn. Can he put his car in the front row? Across it? No, he can't. But it's a 106.509. Andy Rees, final driver to come across the line. Can he take down the Dutchman? He cannot. And that is it. Anderson Baiano has already come across the start finish line. That is qualifying complete. So Luca Andretta has taken pole position out here in an amazing qualifying with the top 4 drivers all in the 106. Incredible effort, I will say. So he is on provisional pole. Actually, I will say pole position. It's confirmed. Let's go congratulate him.
Here the last lap.
Congratulations. Top 3 there. That is Andretta, Krogsgaard, and Van Dorn. So just remember, for the race, 45 minutes plus 1 lap at the end. It's a mandatory pit stop. Must come in once in this race to change your tires. We're also going to have VSCs on for this race as well. Overall, though, let's have a good one out there. Standing start. And basically, the rest of the rule set is just like the last race. So we're going to let the drivers discuss there, but that's going to do it there for qualifying. It's Luca Andretta who takes pole position here at Portland. So what a qualifying that was there for the drivers, and now we're about to get to race conditions here. So 40 seconds before the drivers get onto the grid. Make sure, folks, if you love the stream and you love the action right now, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on course to 650 subscribers. It would mean so much if you could tap that subscribe button. Like the stream if you aren't already, and if you aren't and looking for a reason to like it, the race is going to be what will excite you. With 15 seconds before the drivers get onto the grid, I think it's time we switch on over and let's get ready for the action, because it's time for the Grand Prix of Portland. And here we go. Drivers are lined up now for the action here. Welcome to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, and welcome to this round of Race of Champions. It is now time for the 5th round of the championship. Drivers now that sit onto the grid have some time to themselves, time to think about how this race is going to turn out here. So, 46 and 15 seconds. We started the 45-minute mark, but let's go through the grid. It's Luca Andretta who took pole position with an amazing lap time there in the 106s. But he's not alone in the 106s, because Krogsgaard puts his BMW in 2nd position. In 3rd place, it's Mike Van Dorn, the 2nd Race of Champions playoff driver. He's 3rd. 4th place, it's Andy Rees, the final Race of Champions playoff driver here today in the Andy Massey Racing livery. P5, it's Anderson Baiano, the Brazilian, returns now, looking to make an impact in the Mercedes. Next up, it's Danny Nasir, custom livery that he ran in the DTM World Championship. Beautiful livery there. And last place, it is Andrew Rupnarayan in the Nissan. So as the drivers all get ready for the lights, we can go set ourselves up now for the action as we get this race underway. And it's a very long straight there. You see it all the way into turn 1. So as we set ourselves up here, it is time that we go racing. Here we go. The lights now gonna come across your screen. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's 5 lights for DTM Racing Champions. We go racing! And already a slow start there from Baiano, almost making it 3 widest. Mike Van Dorn takes it down the inside from Luca Andretta. It's contact between the Dutchman and the Swiss Superman. Andy Massey 1 to 2. It's already 3 wide as well as Luca tries to catch back up. And what an amazing start! Van Dorn gets it wrong, tries to go for the dive on the inside. Once there's space, let's take it to the helicopter cam. There you see Baiano off the track there, but we look at just across our screens there. Baiano off, and Rupnarayan already tried to get away in the rear camera. There you see the leaders coming through, lock up there, and the BMW of Van Dorn is gonna try to muscle Luca Andretta. Just about gets out the way. I think a mistake there from Rupnarayan. What a lap time. What a lap this is so far. Andy Massey with 1-2. This is the dream start for them. Danny Nasir as well, 3rd position. He's up there in the championship. Don't forget about it. Oh, it's trouble? What has happened? Krogsgard's off! Krogsgard's off the track! Slides the rear! He's back on, but he's lost a heap of positions! Mads there! Runs off the track! Meanwhile, here comes Mike Van Doorn! And Luca trying to break the slipstream. Mike down the inside. Tries to get the move. Side by side, door to door. It's contact as well. Van Doorn not trying to give up. But Luca now still up ahead. He's in third. Danny Nasir, second position. But the gap now gets to open up. Danny with a prime position that can hold up these drivers behind him and hold on to this second place. But Luca is going to fight hard. Side by side, though, there you see Van Doorn looking for a move. Does he go to the inside here? No. Luca defends the inside. Tries to go for it. Not on exit, but Danny goes off. Danny on corner exit. Runs off the track by himself. That's 3 drivers that go off. And now the top 3 are Racing Champions playoffs drivers. What is going on? Here comes Van Doorn, though. Looks to the outside. Cannot get it done. Has to tuck back in. And Van Doorn looks so much more quicker than the Swiss Superman as they head on to the front straight once again. Luca defends now as Andy Reese puts in the fastest lap. Heading into turn 1 once again. Just a warning there, Luca. Just watch the weaving.
Okay. Sorry.
So, Luca Andretti still in second position, but gets a warning from the stewards as he's trying to push on here. He's trying to defend with all his heart, but remember, you cannot make more than a move. As, there you see Van Doorn trying desperately to try to get past the Swiss Superman. And what an opportunity it would be. This is an amazing fight in the opening stages of this Grand Prix at Portland. And PIR is not disappointing. 4/10 though. Luca Andretti has opened up the gap just about. So Van Doorn's going to really have to start pushing as he closes the gap. And cannot forget that he is also under pressure from Krogsgard behind him. Now into the front straight. So the gap 5/10, but look at the side of your screen. You're going to see, does it go down or up? On the front straight, though, it's Luca Andretti who takes the fastest lap, 107.2, 107.5, 107.7, from second, third, and fourth, respectively. Luca, though, just about finding his groove now and starting to push on. Remember, Mike Van Doorn leads the playoffs right now with 36 points, I believe it is. So he's going to want to defend as hard as he can. It's 38 points, my mistake. But if it stays like this, Van Doorn will be dropping down 1 point from his 2-point lead against Luca Andretti. It's 10 points for the winner, 8 for second, 7 for third. That's just your playoffs drivers. But as it stands right now, Van Doorn, look how aggressive he is in the final sector, locking up the inside tires. Hits the grass there on the outside. Remember last round, he had a little bit of pain in his foot, so he couldn't take part fully. Excuse me there, fully in the last race. But Luca Andretti in the 106s! And is looking pretty quick, and has now opened up the gap to just about a second. It's 8/10, it's dancing around that second. Dancing around that 1 second mark, but don't forget, right behind him, it is Krogsgard, who will pick up the pieces if he can. So as these 3 drivers continue to push on with each other, we can look back here as trouble for Roop Narayan at turn 1. He's got it all wrong there. Wasn't contact with Danny Nasir, but Danny does now go through. So Van Doorn now continues to push. The gap now 7/10, has found some pace in that middle sector. But then into the final complex, you gotta think, are they putting in a little too much? Andretti, though, misses the apex, but look at the exit. Van Doorn once again runs off the track, and he's losing time because of that. He's getting it right. Andy Reese, 107.275. Andretti, 106.891, but 106.853 for Van Doorn. Van Doorn is quicker that lap. onto the front straight again. This is going to be a very, very close race between these drivers. With how simple the track is, Portland is such a unique one. A track with no undulation, no hills. It doesn't, you may think that it doesn't have a personality, but this is the type of racing we're all about here. Of course, Portland is mainly featured in IndyCar, and there's a reason for that. Oh, a bit of a slide there almost. As Andrew Rupnarai now heads into the pits for his mandatory pit stop. Now he is taking it very early in this race, in for his box now. So he's going to be lapped, but meanwhile, the likes of Andretti and Van Dorn have closed up 2 seconds on the race leader, Andy Rees, who desperately needs to finish ahead. Because right now, Andy Rees sits with 34 points to Van Dorn's 38. 4 points behind, and this will cut the gap by 2 points, and that's what he needs. Up the road though, lap traffic, that is the driver who just exited out the pits, Andrew Rupnarai. He's gonna have the blue flag warning. So we're gonna keep an eye on it here as Rupnarai needs to stay off the racing line, and does. So respectful racing there, following the rules of course, and here comes Andretti now. Can't catch him at the apex, that wouldn't be good. But now into the back straight, it's gonna be more than easy for Andretti to let Rupnarai let go of Luca Andretti. And subsequently, that's also gonna be the case for Mike Van Dorn as they head into the braking zone. Now Andretti has opened up the gap between himself and the Dutchman to about a second. A little bit of a slide on the rear there for Van Dorn as we continue racing. This has been such an amazing race. Make sure, folks, to hit that subscribe button if you are enjoying the action. This is a race that will not be forgotten, that's for sure, as the drivers now between Andy Rees and Van Dorn. Oh, there we see. Hold on a second. It's Andrew Rupnarai on the final turn there who's caught trouble. And as well, take a look at this. Andrew Rupnarai has opened up the gap between himself and Van Dorn. 1.4. So the gap has opened up quite a lot. You got to imagine, was that a mistake from Van Dorn, or is Luca Andretti pushing? But the way I'm seeing Van Dorn drive this lap, it's not looking quick for him. And the gap now between Van Dorn to the gap between Andy Rees and Luca Andretti has now closed down even more than it was between Van Dorn and Luca Andretti. And as well, that's allowed this man here, Krogsgaard, to start to close up to the podium. Remember, he was in second place and threw it away on the first lap. And Luca Andretti, fastest lap of the race. Lap 8 of this race at 35 minutes to go. You got to imagine now, Luca Andretti starting to close up. What do you think Andy Rees is thinking about? Andy Rees previously fought with Luca Andretti back at Oulton Park. It was the second restart of the race. Made a mistake on corner exit. Runs off the track, and then Luca Andretti takes the lead right back from him like it was nothing. So you got to imagine now, what is going to happen between Andy Rees and Luca Andretti for the second time now, but here at Portland International Raceway, because now, oh, and that is very unfortunate. Rupnarai is retired here. He's out of the race. He's had too many issues with the car, and he's taking it straight to the pits, and he's out of this race. So our first retirement will be the Canadian Andrew Rupnarai. So that's a bit of a shame to see him go out like that. Nonetheless, though, 107.2, 106.8, Andretti quicker that lap. But take a look at the damage on Andretti's car on the top right-hand side of your screen. A yellow rear end. Let's take a look at the perfect car that is the BMW of Andy Rees. And that gap, though, is closing down. And Luca Andretti is so much more quicker than Andy Rees in the first sector. And you look behind him. There you see Van Dorn. So right now, if I'm a racing driver and I'm Mike Van Dorn, I'm going to be praying that Andy Rees puts up a fight like no tomorrow against Luca Andretti. And if that happens, it's going to back up this fight. And eventually, that 2-second gap between Van Doren and Luca Andretti is going to go down just like that. So that's going to be the big hope for Van Doren here, as Krogsgaard is losing touch now of Mike Van Doren. So Krogsgaard now with a 1.6. Let's look at those lap times. Yeah, 107.2. So must have made a mistake somewhere in that lap. Meanwhile, a bit aggressive over the curb is Andretti. That loses just about a 10th from Andy Rees. And Andy Rees continues to hold on to the lead for now 10 laps. You saw him. Took the lead on lap 1. It was a dream start from him. And we're actually getting confirmation now that Andrew Rubin is back out on track. And he's got blue flags already for Anderson Baiano. Just gets out the way. So he's got the car repaired wherever it was stranded. And now he's got going. Gap now to Van Doren and Andretti. It's 1.9. So it's going down just a little bit. And now it's time for this fight. This is going to be a good fight here. Providing that none of these drivers make a mistake and they keep their A game up. Because Luca and Andy Rees are the big playoff contenders. And Van Doren, of course. As it stands right now, if the standings were to freeze like this, is a lockup there from Andy Rees as he's maybe feeling the pressure. Andy Rees will shoot up to 36 points. Luca Andretti will get 37 points. And Van Doren will get 39 points. So 39, 37, and 36. But it would be Van Doren who still holds on. But if it were to change over like this, if Luca could take the lead and win this race, it's going to be tied between Van Doren and Andretti. Oh, and Andy Rees runs off wide! That's the exact same mistake he made at Alton Park! And side by side now, Andy Rees has felt the aura of Luca Andretti, and it's too much for him! Side by side on the front straight! Andy Rees needs to dive it around the outside or do something. Is he gonna let go of this one here? They go side by side, cannot get it done. Andy Rees has made the exact same mistake as he did at Alton Park, running off the track just by himself. And Andy Rees has been dropped down into second position without being able to challenge, not even once, for the defense. It's Luca Andretti who takes the lead now. That's what I call aura there. Luca, the pressure was on for Andy Rees and made a mistake. Watched his mirrors too much. Got out of shape. Now, Andy is on the back foot here. Under a second, so he can still push on. He's got to shake that off. That's one mistake. I know he's going to be kicking himself. He's been holding on to the lead for 12 laps straight, and then you throw it away like nothing. But this time, Andy Rees, feeling a lot more stronger in the car, is going to start to push back. So 30 minutes left to go in this 45-minute spectacular. And Andy now is going to just chase now for this track. Oh, and lock up there into turn 1. You can see he's pushing hard now, but already losing a 10th. He's got to be calm. Meanwhile, though, Mike Van Doren is also in a prime position. If he can now catch up to Andy Rees, now that would be even more interesting. So now, the points have flipped up just a bit. As it stands, it would be Luca Andretti with 38 points. Van Doren with 39. Now the gap would be put down to 1 point between Andretti and Van Doren. Then it would be Andy Rees, who will take down Cody Lawrence at this race. That's one thing's for sure. He will go up into 35 points. But still, Andy Rees, this is a race that maybe must win for him if he wants to stay in this championship fight. He is behind. And oh, off the track there is Mike Van Doren. You saw a great top-down shot, and he is losing a little bit of time to Andy Rees. And that's going to allow this man here, Krogsgaard, to push on. Oh, and what's that? That is Ruben Ryan going through the bollards. And he's got going just about almost. Now he can. He lets go of the top 4 who were together. But Luca Andretti leads this race, looking for another win in a row. But for Andy Reese, this is a must-win if he wants to stay in the championship fight. Second place is great and all, but with a 1 point, but just taking down 1 point each and every race is not going to help. You need to win a race to get 2 points on your belt. So, as Luca Andretti leads this race, he holds on. Andy Reese, past your screen there. Racing to the line. 107.1 from Luca Andretti, but 107.4 for Andy Reese. 107.2, 107.6 for Van Doren and Krogsgaard, respectively. And Ruben Ryan for the second time is off the track, off the session. Has he DNF for the second time? Yes, he has. So no clue what is going on with Ruben Ryan's car. Is it a setup issue? Is there something in the car? I'm not too sure. One thing's for sure. You look at your top drivers here. That's Andretti. That's Andy Reese. A little bit farther behind is Van Doren and Krogsgaard. We're going to pick up Mads, as he is actually really closing up the gap now between himself and Van Doren. And for Van Doren, he needs to finish in second position if he wants to close up these points here. So must P2, if not a P1. As, oh, and take a look at this now. This is a strategy call. Was it late? He darts into the pits. Mike Van Doren comes in for his pit stop. Now, that is an interesting call from the Dutchman's pit crew. And he comes in to change his tires. Take a look at your top right-hand side of your screen. We're going to stick with him here. As there you see Ruben Ryan now coming back out onto the track. And he's repaired the car. That's crucial. He's got the repairs. Is that the reason that he's been slow? Maybe. Now that is an interesting call there from him. When we look back at our leaders here, Luca Andretti holds on to the lead, but now the top 3 are in a bit of trouble because now Van Doren has a fresh set of soft compound tires and he's gonna push. He's gonna push really hard on this outlap here. So what do the likes of the leaders do? 25 minutes left to go in this race. Do they come in? Because if they don't, trouble for Krogsgaard! Trouble for Krogsgaard! He's off the track once again! This is subsequently the exact same spot where he went off on lap 1, the end of lap 1. That is huge. Krogsgaard's gonna come into the pits. I'm not surprised about it. Meanwhile, Baiano, lap traffic, he's just about getting out the way, and does. In the Mercedes, but Krogsgaard makes a mistake, and now he's the 3rd driver to come in for his pit stop. Oh, and he's missed his box as well! Oh, no! Gets back in. Oh, that has gone from bad to worse. For Mads. But one thing's for sure that it's allowed. It's Mike Van Doren's not going to have any pressure whatsoever. And Van Doren now can just focus on the leaders. So we're going to have to take a look at Van Doren's lap times, but now with a fresh set of tires here, he's going to be pushing on. But take a look at that gap, 25.4. We're going to come back to him later on because actually, we may not get our answer that late. We may get it sooner than we think because Andy Reese has now come in for his pit stop. That's left the leader out alone, and that's also left Van Doren now to fight. Can he close up? He's got warm tires. Andy Reese is gonna have cold tires on exit here. Here comes Van Doren. I think I just heard Andy Reese go through. This is gonna be a big race on pit exit. There is Mike Van Doren, the Dutchman. He's gonna race. Will he see the leader? Oh, he's got P2. He's got P2. He's passed Andy Reese on track. The undercut has worked. Mike Van Dorn has taken second position. And the gap has not just been a little one, it's 3 seconds. Mike Van Dorn has got the greatest strategy call for that one. He moves up into second position. As it stands right now, he'll be now 1 point behind Andretti. But what's to say that he can't still push harder? How long is Andretti gonna stay out? He's gonna continue to stay out. Wow. Take a look at that lap time, 107.334 against Van Dorn's 107.0. Van Dorn is 3/10 quicker. That's the fresh tire effect. That's the undercut. Mike Van Dorn cannot afford any mistakes. He just needs to push as hard as he can, and the gap is down to 26.7. Gap is closing up big time. Trouble for Ruben Ryan. This is huge, ladies and gentlemen. 106.734! Mike Van Dorn is so quick. He's flying out here. The fresh tires. This is the game of chess. And trouble. Oh no! Mike Van Dorn makes a mistake, and Andy Reese goes through. Are you serious? Are you kidding me? Mike Van Dorn has thrown it away. Mike Van Dorn has just thrown the lead away, possibly, and second place makes a mistake. Luke Andretti stays out. Are you serious? Mike, what have you done? What have you done? You've made a mistake. You were closing in. You put a 106 down. Not only has that reversed all your effort and now added more, it's ruined your tires. Mike, how could you? That is a nightmare scenario for Mike Van Dorn. Now we get to watch Andy Reese. Can he close up the same way like Van Dorn can? 107.9. Wow, he's slower on this lap and with fresh tires than to Luca Andretti. That is huge. That is absolutely insane. And for Mike Van Dorn, it's gone from bad to worse. And Luca Andretti is just laughing to the way to the bank. Luca Andretti is still your driver, yet to make his pit stop. And he stays out. He's fine with the car. He has no worry anymore of a potential undercut. And right now he is flying. It's a 107.387. Wow, that's huge. Meanwhile, Anderson Baiano and Danny Nasir. Now, if you don't know about these two, this is a great rivalry that these two drivers have been having since Ferrari Challenge in round 2. And both of them may give us a great race out here because it's Mercedes versus Audi. Let's take a look at this fight here. The gap is 3/10. It's your battle for P5. And both of them had such a close fight in Formula 4 as well. Sorry, it was actually just Ferrari Challenge that they had a great fight in. They were not there for Formula 4, but he's pushing hard. Here comes Baiano, the Brazilian. Let's see what he can do. Here we go. On the slipstream, under a 10th, Baiano backs out wisely as your race leader now comes in for his stop. Just seeing Webster into the chat. Oh, X-Play always has to represent. They are currently sitting in the pits. They have a front row seat of the action here. They're just enjoying some popcorn. And this man here, Luca Andretti, now comes in for his stop. There you see Van Dorn and Andy Reese. What would have happened? Now let's do some math. 31 seconds was the gap between Andy Reese and Luca Andretti, but the gap before was just about 24. So coming across the line here, and Luca Andretti has lost the lead, folks. Luca had a lot more repairs onto the car. Wait a second here, ladies and gentlemen. When you thought the race was over, it's not. Luca Andretti had a lot more repairs because if you remember to the start of this race, he had heavy contact between himself and Van Dorn. Andy Reese and Mike Van Dorn have taken the lead with Andy Reese back in the lead. Luca Andretti on the back foot with 6 seconds on him. Wait a second. Wait a second. This race is far from over. Meanwhile, Baiano does get the move on Danny Nasir because Danny made a mistake on track. But now the story's on these. Oh, wow. And already so aggressive. We had a rule change in for track limits permanently for the rest of time, hopefully. That the drivers can use the white lines to the red and white curbings on the track to be fine, but anything off of that will be track limits for them. But now, this race is on its head. Luca Andretti, and I saw it. He was sitting in pits for a lot longer than I would have thought. Why? Why did he sit in pits for so long? We have to ask him that. However, I think it's kind of self-explanatory. There was a lot of damage on that car for Luca Andretti. And the repairing took a lot longer than, let's say, Van Doorn's just light front aero. Luca Andretti is on the back foot here, and as it stands right now, Andy Rees is back in the lead, prime position to score the points he needs to. If it stays like this, folks, Andy Rees is back in the championship. He's back in the fight. But he needs to defend off of a Mike Van Doorn who desperately, if he can get this win, he will have such a gap to Luca Andretti in the playoffs that it would just be so... It would be so hard for Luca to pull back. There are so many storylines in this race here at Portland as we head into the final half of this championship. Meanwhile, let's take a look at those lap times. Andy Rees with a 107.199, Van Doorn with a 106.8, and Luca with a 107.1. So not quicker this lap, but the gap is 6 seconds. Now though, Van Doorn is caught to the rear of the Andy Master Racing driver of Andy Rees. Has recovered the strategy, that's for sure. Would have been a luck on his side. But now the last time that Andy Rees was in this much pressure, he went off the track. But now this is Mike Van Doorn. How does he treat him? Slipstream engaged, 2/10. It's going down. Gap all the way down, but nothing to write home about in this section of the track. Van Doorn now hard onto the brakes. Both of them very identical, but Van Doorn with a great run onto the front straight, looks to the outside. Side by side for the lead. Mike Van Doorn, Andy Rees, 106.9. Van Doorn will take the fastest lap. They head into 1. Andy's gonna hold on to the lead. Lock up for him. Mike Van Doorn with a better exit. No, twitches it too much. And this race continues between these two. Luca, no improvements there. 106.8 actually. No, he did improve, but not quicker than these two drivers here. Mike Van Doorn now against Andy Rees. As we're still nowhere near the closing stages of this race. There's a lot of time to go. Now, I don't want to give a commentator's curse, but as it stands, it's still caution-free. We've had drivers going off, but they've been very much out the way. That only needs to prompt out local yellows on track. Listen to that BMW roar. Final corner there. Andy Rees washes a little bit deep, but it is Mike Van Doorn who also runs a little bit wide on corner exit. Onto the front straight, 107.3 for Rees, 107.6 for Van Doorn. Rees is faster that lap. Turn 2. A lot better there for Mike Van Doorn. The Dutchman now is even closer onto the rear in the first sector. Now Van Doorn, it's very tricky to follow around here, especially with the dirty air in very much effect. But he's really attacking now because if he doesn't get the move done and these two guys continue to slow each other up, Luke is going to be right on their rears. Bit of a lock up there, you heard it. Nose to tail. 2/10 now, and Mike Van Doorn may have a great run here. If he can get a move that's set up on the back straight, that could be very beneficial, and I think Van Doorn's gonna commit to it. He might, side by side. No backs out contact. Contact's made. That's trouble.
I'm still gonna say sorry.
Yeah, Van Doorn, you have to give that position back.
that's an interesting call to make during the race, but okay.
Oh, well.
If you want to set it up to the stewards, you can. If you want to look at it after the race,
I mean, that's too late now. I already slowed down because you told me to.
it's the right thing to do. Luca Andretti takes back the lead.
Well,
Congrats.
I guess I'm in the lead now.
Luca
I
don't know
Andretti
who
takes
holds
the
over
lead.
Come on, hurry up.
The damage screwed me over. Well,
And Andy
yeah.
Rees also has damage. Van
idiot,
Dorn's
boy.
Get
very
off me,
much
please.
upset. You hear them over the comms. Andy Rees goes through. Now they can race again. Wow. And down the inside there, Van Dorn's gonna go in. He touched the rear. That was it. Man, oh man. That is chaos. And Mike Van Dorn and Andy Rees are now 6 seconds behind Luca Andretti. Oh my gosh. They were side by side into it, and it was contact. Meanwhile, they're on the front straight back again. Now they're subsequently fighting for second position. Looking to the inside here is Van Dorn. Tom sends it in there. Van Dorn is not playing games anymore. He's absolutely fed up about what just happened. Needed to let through the position. He has. Van Dorn now is up into second position against Andy Rees with a hell of a lot of damage. But Van Dorn's going to avoid penalty. That's the most important part in this championship fight, because if Van Dorn wanted to take this one to the end, he could have without letting go of the position. However, if it was found that he could have, that it was ultimately his fault, well, that's on him. But we are going to get a replay of that incident, and that is the big talking point of this race. Wow, that's huge. Letting go. That is absolutely monumental in this championship fight. That could have been the make or break, because Andretti would have been finishing third as it stood with 11 minutes to go. Wow. That one. That one. That one. That's huge. Anyways, I think we're just about going to get a replay of this one. Should get it on your screen now. So there it is. We're going to take a look at what happened, and we're going to slow this thing down, and we're going to find out what happened between these two drivers here. So, looking to the inside is Van Dorn. Obviously, you could tell. There you see the nose now committing. He's on the rear tire, so they're officially side by side turning in. Touches the nose there. Onto the inside. Rewinding it more. Was that Van Dorn taking him out? He backed out subsequently. There you see, they're not alongside anymore. Let's rewind it once more. So side by side, now into the braking zone. Van Dorn hits the brakes. Now that's the crucial thing that you have to look at for this incident. If Van Dorn stuck it inside more and they were more alongside each other side by side, then Van Dorn would not have to pay the price. He backs out here. And because he backs out, now Van Dorn is not alongside. And with Andy Rees onto the inside, he backs out, and it's just a little too much too late. Van Dorn spins out Andy Rees. And that is what ended the show for them. And no matter what happened between that penalty or not, Luca Andretti took the lead, and it didn't matter. That would have happened. That is a given. So the penalty on track did not determine what would have happened anyways. That was going to happen. But for Mike Van Dorn, that is huge. The gap is about 6.7 seconds. He doesn't have damage. But Luca Andretti is back on for pace. Let's take a look at those times, though. 106.707. And Mike Van Dorn, you gotta understand, man, that is even more huge. Mike would have never been in this position if he didn't make that mistake, but at the same time, there are so many things you could say about all these drivers. If they didn't do anything, something else wouldn't have happened. That's the butterfly effect for you. That happens all the time, and in racing, that is another call. So, for Mike Van Doorn, he's now sitting in second position. It's the best he can finish right now, if Andretti does not make a mistake. Is this the race that Andretti wanted to win this way? I don't think so. But in his championship fight, he needs to close up in every way he can. So that is a huge, huge accident. But if that would have been taken straight to the stewards for more investigation, and it is found that Van Doorn did take out Andy Rees in such a way like that for avoidable contact, well, then you got to put it down at how big of a penalty. That could have been a 10-second time penalty that could have knocked him out completely outside the top 3. Maybe even top 4. You don't know that. So because in the rule book, if you do take a driver out, the best thing to do, let the driver go through. It's the worst feeling in the world. But you gotta let him through, and you gotta continue racing like that. You could still continue racing, which we've seen many times in the past, but it does reward a heavier penalty. And just take it from Luca Andretti. Race 1, Road Atlanta Formula 4 took out Krogsgaard. And he had to serve a penalty that took his win right away in the points. And Race of Champions, so competitive, so close in the action. And that is an incident that, well, now has solved itself. So now, Mike Van Doorn, 107.4, but 106.7 for Luca Andretti in the final 7 minutes of this race. Portland International Raceway has been nothing but spectacular for battles, and is going to be a track that we see in the 2025 calendar, one way or another. That's for sure. We got word in the pits from Andrew Ruben Ryan. He's stuck in the pits, actually. He's got a 2,600 second time penalty. And that was not from race direction at all to the stewards. Probably not enjoying the fact that Andretti's taken a little too much of the Hankook tires on the track 24/7, costing the team too much. They've put a boot on his tire in the pit so he cannot leave this time. And now he's stuck in there for the next bit. Meanwhile, Andy Rees sits in third position. The gap is 2.4 seconds, 2.5. With a lot of damage on his BMW, he's going to have to push very hard. Harder than normal. To try to take back Mike Van Doorn. Poor Andy Rees, just a passenger in that fight. So 5 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the Grand Prix of Portland. Next week out, it's Radical season, where we will either be heading to Canada for Mosport or Imola in Italy. So 2 very, very massive events coming your way. And then it's the Grand Finals GT4 that will be decided at either Bushy Park or whatever does not get selected between Mosport or Imola. Lots to write home about. That's for sure. 4 minutes, 20 seconds left to go. The gap has opened up to 10 seconds. And our eyes are on... Oh, no! Eyes are on Andy Rees as he puts the power down a little too early. And that sent his car for a half spin. Meanwhile, Krogsgaard gets to push on. And Mads, though, his race has been a little bit unfortunate on his end. He's actually got a damaged front arrow. Don't know where that came from, that's for sure. But Mads, who was in second position, fighting for the lead on lap 1, puts his car off the track, and he was out of it. Ever since, could not recover. Meanwhile, Ruben Orion, I think he's gotten out the car once again. So that's another DNF to his name. That's the most DNFs I've seen for a driver in a race. That's for sure. But nonetheless, though, we look down our order. Anderson Baiano currently sits 5th position. He has taken down Danny Nasir this time. And with a caution-free race, it's allowed these drivers to open up and really push on hard. That is not the race we got last round. Alton Park bringing out 2 cautions. But there you see the Audi flying through here. Danny Nasir will be subsequently last place on track. But with 2 minutes and 13 seconds left to go in the Grand Prix of Portland, it's this man. It's Luke Andretti, who continues to push on and dominate. But is this the race that he wanted to win? Maybe not in the way he is going to. That's for sure. It's been a hard one. It's been a hard-fought race. But regardless, your big talking point is going to be, ooh, as Luca goes 2 wheels in the air, your big talking point is that incident. Andy Rees, Mike Van Doorn fight for the lead. A battle that has ended in tears for both drivers, and now it's just recovery mode for them. So, 1 minute left to go, 2 laps to do it. And honestly, we are still looking at the incident. But what is said and done is already done on track. But we believe it was definitely the best decision that had to have been done. It's very unfortunate. That's hard racing for you. But at the end of the day, this championship is still close. So let's take a look at the point standings now. So Luke Andretti will now have 38 points. Mike Van Doorn will have 39 points. So the gap for the lead of the championship will be just 1 point. And then it's going to be Andy Rees, who will take 35 points. So it's going to be 39 for Van Doorn, 38 for Luca, 35 for Andy Rees, and 34 for Cody Lawrence. Martin Webster is also 5th with 17 points, but he's not in the championship fight. Meanwhile, we're on the 2 to go here as the timer expires. And Luke Andretti is on your screen there. Let's take a look at how this race has panned out for all these drivers. Starting off with driver in, well, let's start off with Andrew Rupen-Orion as we watch Danny Nasir, because Andrew Rupen-Orion has not had the best of races. I will say that. Andrew Rupen-Orion has just gone from bad to worse, making a little too many mistakes and just not feeling the car at all. And then they just booted his car onto the pits. Next up, Anderson Baiano. Now, Baiano having a mistake in the opening stages of this race, but was able to have a great fight with Danny Nasir and moves up into 5th position. These are going to be some good points for him as he tries to climb back up in the standings. P4, another driver who lost out huge and also made, I think, 2 mistakes in this race, but I think the main one, that was the big talking point, was that lap 1 incident. Just ran out of road, runned off wide on the first lap, went from 2nd to 4th. Andy Rees led this race, had Andretti behind him, made a mistake, but still was able to take back the lead with pit stops, but contact would have put him down into 3rd position. Recovery mode. Mike Van Doren, it's an incident that he's gonna want to forget, that's for sure, but it's damage limitation for him, and that is what he's got as he sits in 2nd. But it's this man, Luca Andretti, in the BMW, the Swiss Superman. Give it to him, another one, as DJ Khaled would put it. He wins it at Portland International Raceway. The Grand Prix of Portland goes to Luca Andretti. Mike Van Doren will come across the start-finish line in a race that he feels like that was his race win, potentially. 40 laps complete, and Van Doren will finish 2nd position. And Andy Rees will come across the line, beaten and bruised, but will take a 3rd, and Krogsgaard will take 4th position for Andy Matsu. But Luca Andretti has taken the race win once again. He has won at Ferrari Challenge. He has won Formula 4. He won LMP2. Sweep, sweep, sweep. Luca Andretti now with another one in the bag. The recovery mode from the start of the race to the checkered flag. He comes out on top.
Pissed off about that in the GT3 championship, where I had to slow down for Klaus because he didn't give enough room as a lap car, but I did bump into him, and then I had to wait up and lost 10 seconds to P1. Which was Gabriel.
So, a very interesting race and a very close one between a lot of our drivers here. Now coming to the checkered flag. And we're going to talk to our top 3 now, starting off with our man in 3rd place, Andy Rees. You had the lead in the beginning of this race, and then put one tire off the track, lost the lead. And then it was just recovery mode, trying to fight back, trying to take home some big points. And then it was towards the end where that incident did occur, put you into the tire barrier. And then it was just about trying to recover as much as you could. 3rd place was the best you could do. Andy Rees, how was that one for you?
Well, it's one of those races where, you know, a win or at least 2nd place would have been certainly possible with like the incidents at the start, giving me like a 5-second head start. But yeah, I don't think I was on pace very much. So yeah, it wasn't long before they caught up to me again. Yeah, the incident, I'll have to look it back, but felt like just a racing incident. I mean, going side by side into those turns is a bit risky, but I'll have to watch it back.
Nonetheless, though, it was a little bit of a shame about the incident there. Who knows? Maybe this could have been your race win that would put you even more firm in this championship fight. But nonetheless, though, you are going to take another point, closing the gap. Now, you do now officially overtake Cody Lawrence in the points, so you now sit firmly in 3rd position behind the 2 championship leaders with 2 rounds left to go. Good luck on it. Congratulations on 3rd position.
Thank you.
2nd position, Mike Van Doren, an incident to forget, but the right thing to do on track with that incident. It was a very, very fast car, fast BMW you had under your belt. And almost this race could have been yours. A couple mistakes here and there, but it was still a good race from you, Van Doren. You still hold on to the championship lead by 1 point, but take us through how this race went for you here at Portland.
Well, I mean, I should have just been in the lead from lap 1 onwards because, yeah, I mean, Luca was never going to make turn 2, and I should have known that and seen that in advance and just broke a bit more into turn 2, but yeah, and then we made contact, so yeah, after that I kept locking up in the final corner, so I had a massive flat spot and when you lock up once there, then it's very easy to keep locking up every single lap. So I just went for the undercut and it worked. And then, yeah, I made a stupid mistake that, I mean, I never really make those mistakes like that, but I did, so put me in second. And then, yeah, I mean, I don't think the incident was as clear-cut as you might have thought it was, but we'll have to look back at that at the replay. I didn't really want to go side by side, so I tried to back out of it and go on the brakes, but I guess Andy probably also slightly broke for the corner, and then just unfortunate to touch there. But yeah, I mean, I don't think there was much I could have done to avoid that contact, personally. And then some other stuff that I'll talk about after the stream is over, but yeah, I mean, they're far from a perfect race, but still P2.
And that's the thing you got to look at the end of the day, what you can take out of this race. And second place has firmly put you ahead still of Luca and Dreda. 2 rounds left to go, but now we enter the phase of this championship where now you're going to have 4 races. Still opportunities to finish ahead of him, but subsequently also for Luca to take you down. So you do still hold this championship lead as it stands, and you still are leading in the playoffs. So congratulations on the second place effort, and yep, we're gonna look at it after the race and look at that incident, of course. Congratulations, second position. And then P1, Luca and Dreda. Maybe not the race you wanted to win in this kind of fashion, but at the end of the day, when, you know, we rarely see you on the back foot of championships instead of leading it, this was the one that you just had to take every point that you could. Of course, as a racing driver, it kind of is annoying that you win in that kind of fashion when a 3-way fight would have definitely been on the cards for a good one between yourself, but you finished P1 nonetheless. How was that one for you?
As you said yourself, the 3-way fight at the end would have been cool to have. I mean, I was catching them. I knew they were fighting. I would have probably caught up. I was the quickest on track, but I do have to say I was just not confident at all with the setup. The setup was quick. It worked. You know, it just works. So, but it just didn't really give me any confidence. I couldn't really push it absolutely, like, just full limit through the entire track. There definitely could have been more work done to it, but I mean, I didn't have the time to do more work. But yeah, I made the best out of it. Race start was a bit, I think Mads had a way better start. He definitely practiced his starts. I just did the old press the clutch in full throttle first gear and get out, and yeah, it didn't really work that well. Got damage, and then that's why I was slower in the pits, and Andy could pass with Mike because of that damage. I didn't expect a little bit of aero damage would have taken, I don't know, like half of the pit stop time for the tires, or even just as long. I think it was double because of it. And yeah, at the end, it was just not that great with the fight we could have had. It would have been really cool to catch up and say, hello, I'm here now. We are fighting together. And then see whoever gets across the finish line first.
Nonetheless, though, you take the victory here. Once again, more back-to-back-to-back wins. But you are now putting down that championship fight to 1 point instead of 2, with 4 more races and just 2 rounds left to do it. Very much on the cuffs for another back-to-back championship. But do you feel like that's possible with the upcoming Radicals and GT4 cars that you're going to be facing? Because remember, we have not seen you in DTM for a very long time. So are we going to see that potential new car to Luca and Dreda, or is it just going to be a walk in the park for you?
I think GTs overall, GT3, GT4, these types of cars are more what I race. I mean, I'm usually in a GT3 in most leagues or races I do, but mainly now, obviously, LMDH, so hypercar class, the BMW from RSS mainly. We drive those kind of cars, and I'm more used to them. And thank God that I did some races in the Radical here, because it did take a like it did take quite a bit to understand how that car works. It's quite funky, and the force feedback doesn't give you too much feedback about, for instance, like oversteer or something. It's not like when you oversteer, the wheel will turn with you and help you out and be like, yeah, okay, well, I'll bring you back on track. No, you just die. You just spin. you're off if you make a mistake. It's a very unforgiving car, but if you know how to make the setup for it, it works. You can push it.
Well, nonetheless, great win out there for you. You closed the gap down, and just with 2 more races left to go, it's really going to be a close one between yourself and Van Dorn. Congratulations on, once again, another race win. If only we were here for the first one, then we may be calling you the undefeated driver here of Race of Champions. Your best performance, that's for sure. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Final thing we got to do before this one is up is the dreaded wheel spin.
Oh no.
And I think all of us already know.
Oh, is there like 2? Oh my god, there's 3 tracks.
There's just 3 tracks, but it's only 2 to choose
so
from.
next we have Radical?
We
next
do
week?
have Radicals, yes.
And it can't be Bushy Park.
Cannot
only
be Bushy
Imola
Park.
or Mosport.
Correct.
I would actually, I think both of them were good. Mosport would be a bit funky because of the uphill corner. Imagine that in the Radical.
Issues on the
that
stream
would
side.
be the
We're trying to
hardest corner just
that
to get
fixed. I think we're
the
just
setup
frozen on
working
stream.
for that corner.
Just give me one moment.
Like genuinely, that is, if you can take that uphill corner correctly, you win the race.
Just give me 1 second here.
Imola would be hella ballin' too.
So we're just having some issues on our preview here of the stream.
I think Mosport,
And we're not
I
too
think
sure what's
GT4
happening
would be
there.
better for Imola. And
What is
Mosport-
Radical?
How did you just call it?
Imola?
Imola, sorry.
Imola.
Imola, that's how I used to say it. My bad. I'm uncultured. I know. I don't know anything about racing.
I mean, I would rather have it on Mosport because then we have GT4 on Imola.
The only person I knew when I started out racing was Michael Schumacher. That's it. Like, you're talking to someone that has no clue. Oh, what happened with the wheel spin?
Yeah, we're bringing it back up. OBS just has completely froze on me here, but I think it's just my preview, so I was just watching the stream to make sure the stream is still fine. So it is. So I'm just showing it back.
This is sketch because this corner here is really sketch.
So we'll talk about it after the stream here. So we got the wheel spin here now going, and it
that was my stream.
will be
Bushy. No, not Bushy.
Oh, I can't put sound.
so it can't be Bushy
Bushy
Park, of
Park.
course.
No.
So you're gonna have to spin it back over again.
It's Bushy Park again, and then Bushy Park again, and then Bushy Park again.
Why do you even keep it in? Oh, Imola.
Oh no!
And Imola.
Mosport would have been better.
Well, there you
That's gonna
go.
be a
Would've
long
been-
lap.
It would have been better, yep. No
Imola
doubt about it,
would've
but
been
that
so
is
good
the
for
wheel
GT.
spins. So then, that's going to mean we're either going to have between Mosport or Bushy Park for the final. So 2 tracks is definitely going to be good for those cars. But Imola in the Radical is still going to be a good one, that's for sure.
We need to stop
So I'm gonna go
gambling
quickly.
track.
And end off the stream, and I'll be right back with the debrief of the race. That's going to do it for the action there. Unfortunately, my preview has kind of died on me. But we are still live. Thank you so much for tuning in to another amazing round of Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club's Race of Champions. We will see you in 1 week's time for the penultimate round at Radicals for the Italian Grand Prix. That's going to be a race unforgettable. We will see you then.